Sir, what are these? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having an amazing day. So we're working on the Mazda. Today we're going to install the RHODE FAB triangulation kit. And I want to ask your opinion on something, and I want you to be honest with me. You're not going to hurt my feelings. When I say, sir, does that drive you nuts, or does it make me who I am? Does it go like peanut butter and jelly, like hot dog with the ketchup? Does it go together? I don't know. I just want to ask your opinion, because if it drives you guys nuts and you don't like it, obviously I don't want to be doing it. But I don't know, it just it sounds kind of happy, like, sir, how you doing? You know, I don't know. Anyway, let me show you what we're working on today. I had to make up a jig to hold the kit together, and it's pretty neat. I just want to show you what I've done. Okay, so went to the hardware store, picked up some 3/4 threaded rod, which is what you see inside here. But the problem is, because the truck is metric, this is like M12, so it's in between 5/8 and 3/4. So 5/8 is too small. It would have been all loosey-goosey. So what I ended up doing was, and this is really important, I ground the threads down. I chased on some new 5/8 threads because I want this locked into place. So that way, when I set my jig up here like so, I want this to be tight. And it's really important, actually, and I'll show you why in just a second, why it's important. So I'm just gonna snug this up. I'm gonna get some wrenches on it, but you can actually be off quite a bit and not realize that you're off quite a bit and screw it up. Well, I don't know if you would screw it up, but it would bind up, and we don't want that to happen. We definitely don't want any binding to happen. So when installing this triangulation kit, your auxiliary arm, we'll call this an auxiliary arm, needs to be parallel to your lower control arm. I still have the stabilizer on it in the front. Reason being is because the stabilizer kind of sort of sets the caster. Caster is your rake. We have added caster on the suspension, factory. Had I removed this, your arm could tweak. It could move like forwards and backwards, and we don't want that to happen. That's why we left this stabilizer on here. So anyway, it's actually a really nice kit that he puts together. Unwrap this here. So what do you think of my positive energy? Are you guys feeling my positive energy? My bubbly? Are you all feeling it? My sort of bubbly personality. I try and be happy all the time, you know. Life's too short. Ain't no sense in getting all worked up, you know, for nothing. I'm gonna go over this stuff here in a second, but I'm just unwrapping all the pieces that comes in the kit. I don't know. Can't be pissed off all the time. I'm enjoying this. I really am. You know, I come out here on schedule. Nice little gusset he gives with the kit. I'm just happy, you know? I'm very happy. I like the fact that all the mill scale is ground down off the brackets. Really important, especially when you're welding. So that's A+. I don't know what this kit cost. I didn't buy this kit. I would imagine it would be a few $100, but I would definitely say it's worth the money. The quality is there. He didn't chimp out on material, on thickness. So I would highly recommend this kit. Let me spin you around. Just going over a few things real quick. This here bolt is going to be our shock. So end up going something like this, I would imagine, because you're not going to put it inside of here, obviously, because you're going to hit your control arm. So I'm assuming it's going to go somewhere over here, you know, like this or something. But yeah, anyway, that's for later. So one thing I want to point out too, get yourself some big zip ties, some high quality zip ties like this, or some wire. You're going to want to zip tie the spindle up to the toe mount, or the drag hook, or whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm doubling it up because this thing's pretty heavy. We don't want to collapse or ruin customer's brake line. And now I just come off the jack like so, and she's hanging there out of the way. It's a nice little thing to do for the customer. Yeah, so one thing I want to point out real quick is, if you can look, you're not going to be able to hear me all that well, but if you look, you see there's a gap in here, and it's not even with one another, right? But if I pull the arm forward, now I can make it even. See, what we're doing is, if you watch the bushing, see how you're bending the bushing? We don't want to do that. So, and I apologize if my audio wasn't the greatest there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snug this nut on the back side so it pushes closer. There's a little bit of drag there. I'm going to back off a smidgen. I'm going to tighten this one to push it back out a little. See how she moves freely like that, but there's a little bit of friction. That's what I'm comfortable with. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to snug these up really good. I went ahead and tightened the nut inside of here. You see our arm travels freely. Our triangulation kit is not hitting on the frame when the control arm bottoms out, which is a beautiful thing. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to put a beefy tack on here, and then I'm going to remove the entire lower control arm, and then I can weld it up fully. Once this is welded up fully onto the arm, then we can go ahead and install our brackets to go on the back side of the chassis to hold and support the triangulation kit. And the reason why you can't install these now, obviously, is because these are 1/2 inch holes, and this is 3/4 inch threaded rod. So that's why they're not in there now. Funny stuff for you. I'm 49 years old. Never wore glasses, had 20/20 vision or 20/30 vision. Perfect vision my entire life, and then I got old and I got to wear glasses. So now we can take this entire setup apart. It'll be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but that's okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, baby. And you can see how I made it. It's pretty cool. Get my nuts tapered. Well, I knocked all the threads down with the grinder. I cut in some new 5/8 threads. So now we can slide our nuts on like so. I'm going to put these washers, even though they're going to be on wrong, We're gonna save this because I'm sure we're gonna use it after this build for something else. Now I'll have it. That's money, dude. Just like that. So the only thing left we have to take off is one bolt. Now you can see how nice and square that is. That's money. Connecting from one to the other, we can weld up this entire piece. I've got to weld up our bag mount, lower bag mount here. Looks good, man. Very nice. So I'm going to put a link to RHODE's channel. He actually built some really nice stuff. Might want to check him out. Check his channel out if you haven't already. He hasn't built vehicles in a while. Yeah, it's hot out. We're in December and it's still hot here. Check his channel out. Go and say hi. Tell him Magic Man sent you. Old Ravioli Head. Check out his store. He's got a lot of nice merch in his store. Anyway, one thing I want to point out, this kit is kind of universal. It's meant for all different mini trucks. So I needed to trim up bracketry in order to make this kit work. It's not a big deal. Just don't plan on taking it out of the box and installing it, because it's not going to happen. So we're going to do one bracket like this, and then we're going to do one bracket like this. I had to notch this bracket out because of the headers. Man, I'll tell you what, if I had to do that again, I'll yank the fucking engine out. That was horrific. Having to weld upside down, your welding shield mask is falling off. Let me show you something real quick. I had to climb in through here to tack the bracket. My shirt got caught on all this. I barely fit in here. Now you can see what I was talking about with the header. I wanted to just give it a little more wiggle room. Nightmare, absolute nightmare trying to weld inside there. It looks good. I ain't gonna lie, it looks good. I cut in a little clearance here so I can weld this, the bottom side. Don't forget to remove your bushings so you can weld this up nice and good. Alright guys, got a load of music, end up with a copyright strike. Moving right along on the old Mazda. I wanted to show you something really neat. So I bent up a piece of flat bar and I need to kind of go off of something to create a wheel opening, because I'm going to make inner fenders for the Mazda. I'm going to show you what I did. It's really simple. So I took this 1x4 that I had laying around, bent it up a little bit. You can see, drill a hole in it. So I just spun the wheel like this to create my wheel opening. Pretty easy. It's not quite exact, but it works. That's when the old eagle eye comes into play. So you can see my mark. I got to trim this out, square it up here. So one thing I want to point out too, while working cheap, and I mean, I'm not cutting myself short. I'm really not. But anyway, customers got blown out tie rod bushings, inner and outer. Same with his upper ball joint on the other side. So I'm just gonna go ahead and order new ones. You don't need dirt and shit getting in there. I gotta take this back apart. I want to show you how nice everything swings. Came out really nice, this triangulation kit. I've got to finish painting. Drilled a little hole inside the top bracket right there for the airbag line to come out. So she's gonna loop around, come down the frame like that with some holders. These use the OEM shocks, so I had to order some new shocks, and I still got the brackets to weld on, but I'm waiting on the shocks. So overall, this was a really basic kit to install. There really wasn't a whole lot of like head scratching things to do, but very nice quality. Very pleased with RHODE's quality. Again, hit him up, hit his channel up. If you need, mini truck parts or anything of that nature, tell him I said hi, kind of pay it forward. Hey man, anyway, sir, holy shit. That's gonna do it for this video. I'll catch you all on the next one. We got a lot of work to do on this Mazda. Gotta play catch up. I had, really quick, numerous doctor's appointments since I've been back. Blood work, more blood work. Got a colonoscopy that I got scheduled. The joy of turning 50. Awesome. We'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day, guys. Mwah! Talk to y'all soon. Take care.